This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
Oh, yeah. So you probably want to get yours up a little bit closer.
Okay.
You can grab just...
All right.
Yeah.
And co-host Marney Winfield.
I got nothing.
Well, let's talk recovery.
Is that, are we supposed to finish that sentence or something?
No. It is the 29th, sort of July. Actually, it's the 30th. This episode was supposed to air on the 29th. And no, we didn't forget about it. We didn't lapse. Nothing like that. I'm Corey Winfield.
I'm Marney Winfield.
And this is the 217 Recovery Podcast. See, what happened was I didn't feel well.
It happens, yeah.
Yeah, and my belly was bad. And I had driven, was it 16 hours of the previous 24. I was tired and my belly hurt. So I just said, you know what? We're going to do it tomorrow. We'll do a make good.
Yeah.
And then today I wake up and I'm drinking these Slim Fast
Keto shakes. And let me tell you, if you have something to do or somewhere to go, do not drink one. Because they, like, at first, like, oh, not bad. Yeah, feels good. Mm-hmm. And then the next thing you know, your stomach feels like you have, did you see the movie Spaceballs? Oh, God, it was so long ago.
Yeah, it feels like there's a critter in there just like trying to get out. But every time I drink one, I lose weight. It seems like so. I've lost 36 pounds since end of May. So
I know you're doing so well.
I know. I only have 100 more to go.
It's no. Yeah. Where'd my husband go?
I don't know. I wonder if I would talk different.
I don't know.
My voice would start being like this.
I do not advocate for that type of...
Just a skinny guy now.
No.
What's up? How you doing, everybody out there? Podcast land, you in recovery? Is that going good for you? Well, my name's Corey Winfield, and
So when you get thinner, you get a country accent?
yeah, that comes along with it too. How's everybody doing out here?
I don't know. And we're trying to work on these microphones too. And I heard this echo and it's really irritating with me right now. But no, we went to the Recovery Zone rally in Paw Paw. That was pretty fun.
It was amazing.
It was a lot of fun. And we got to meet a lot of cool people. The Chicago Hope Dealers with Jonathan and his wife Myra and Drew Hicks and Bambi Adams. She was amazing. She was very, very cool.
Yeah, definitely want to keep connection with her.
Mm-hmm. And it was good. And next year it's going to be bigger and hopefully inside, because that was a problem for me personally.
It was just unpredictable. There were so many pieces of it. It was hot.
It was hell.
And, weather permitting, so we had tents and things, but it was tough. I mean, the main tent was great because even with the rain, it stood up just great. Mm-hmm. But for the vendor tents, that would have done absolutely nothing. That doesn't shield anything from any kind of rain. Mm-mm. It's more for shade than anything else.
And Jesus, like when we were there, Jesus told me, he was like, "Hey, Corey." I was like, "Yes, Jesus." He's like, "You might want to take down that tent now. About to drop some rain on your ass." I was like, "All right." So I was like, "Hey, Marnie, let's get this. Let's wrap it up. Let's take this tent down." We took the tent down. We got all our gear, everything put inside the vehicle. Get in the vehicle.
Close the door. And then all of a sudden, yep.
I was like, pointed up. I was like, "Good looking out, Jesus. Appreciate it."
On cue.
Yeah. And some people do have the 217 Recovery Podcast shirt that says Jesus is a big fan. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, Jesus is a big fan,
Yeah, and we're a big fan of Jesus.
We wouldn't, we are. And we wouldn't make t-shirts that said Jesus is a big fan if Jesus wasn't a big fan. That would be blasphemy.
I love that word.
Do you?
I do. I think it's funny.
Okay. To use it more. But yeah, the rally though went cool. If you haven't seen, because I got to speak there, which you might go, if you do watch the video, you might be like, well, why is it so weird? Why is it so little bitty little video?
That's my fault.
Well, you didn't know.
It's not really fault. It's just, first off, I got no real direction on. Apparently, you have to have the camera a certain way when you start it to have it when you're doing it off an iPhone.
Yeah, and
you can't just turn it once you get it figured out. Because, I mean, worst case scenario, if I would have pressed go, you know, sometimes you press it and it's not actually, you press it twice. So it actually starts and then stops and you're just holding it up the whole time. It's not even recording.
yeah, at least
so that was my biggest fear. So that's why I kind of waited for a second and then I flipped it and that was a big no-no, come to find out. So
yeah, and I was like, oh, we can just post the audio. Nobody needs to see my fat ass up there talking.
Oh, shut it. Like, oh, you looked amazing and it was an amazing share and totally off the cuff like you do. And no, I'm serious. And it was... I think it was really good. And, you know, it was kind of a bummer because it was at the very end of all the speakers. So there were some people, like some of the people that had come to the event, like to pop in, see what it was all about, have a listen. Maybe not there for one specific person or another, had already kind of like seen what they needed to see and headed home. So that was kind of a bummer. But overall, I mean, and with the weather coming, it was like, And there was a moment when you were like, yeah, because the whole schedule was kind of behind.
And I thought I got out of it. I was like,
see, but that's not, and I knew you weren't feeling that way. You were like, you were bummed out.
Well,
and
kind of.
You were just like, well, then fine, I'm not going to do it.
I was not being bratty boy.
There was childishness in there.
No.
There was like, well, I guess they didn't schedule me right and everybody's already gone home anyway, so I'm just going to not do it and nobody's going to miss my share.
No, I just thought, you know what? I don't want to hold anybody up. People are already leaving. It's pouring down rain.
And then Jesus is like, Corey, you have something that these people need to hear.
He did, and he did that in the way of Malachi. He sent Malachi to give me like the sad puppy eyes. Like,
no, it was freaking classic because we're in the car. It's the rain's coming.
I've already made my mind up not doing it.
He's got the window down. He stops by and he's like, what's up or whatever? And you're like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go ahead with this because, you know, it's already really behind and I don't want to hold people up. And so, and I already told Jewel about it. And he's like, what? He's like, oh, what?
That's not even how it happened.
So he ran away, He's like, hold on 1 minute. Runs. Running in the rain to the trailer or wherever Jewel was. And it was probably just like, you did not tell him he could go home, did you? And so we're in the car and I'm just like, you can't. You got to stay.
No,
Suck it up. So let's do it.
Earlier, Jewel had said, hey, look, you know, we're running so late and, you know, with the rain coming, people leaving, you know, if you don't want to stick around to share, you don't have to. And
that's the whole reason you came there.
It's like, well, there's my out. So we packed up and I was like, yeah, you know, let's just, you know, and then rain started. I'm like, all right, let's just bounce. I'm hungry. Let's get out of here and go get something to eat. And then Malachi came run because it was pouring down rain. This is why he came running by the truck. And I was like, hey, because we told him we'd give him a sweatshirt. So I was like, hey, man, here you go. Here's your shirt. He's like, where are you going? Are you leaving? I was like, well, yeah. I mean, Jewel said that, you know, I didn't have to share or whatever. And I don't want to hold people up. And he just kind of looked at me with a disappointment look on his face. And he's like, I'll be right back. And he took off running again because it's raining. Not because he had to get to Jewel with some kind of emergency that Corey's leaving. I'm going to go with
that. I like my part better.
And then he texted me and said, hey, man, like, Jewel really wants you to share it. And I do too. I really want to hear what you have to say or something to those lines. And I was like,
I think the majority of the speakers were still there too. And then our parents showed up.
Yeah, I sent my mom and dad home, told them to go home.
You did. You were like,
let's go eat. They're like, we need to go to Walmart. I'm like, well, just go to Walmart and we'll figure out where we're going to eat and we'll be out of here. I just got to tell them goodbye. And
all in all, it happened like it should have. And
then we had to we had to wait for a minute before I got up there. But then it felt good and I didn't hold anybody up. I wasn't trying to share for an hour or anything, and I didn't have anything prepared. Obviously, if you watch the video, like I don't really complete a sentence.
or a thought. I completed a sentence, just not a thought.
See, but that's what people want, though. That's what people. I mean, people want. Thoughts? No. People want something that's real. People want genuine share. They want what's going on in your head right then. I mean, you can memorize stuff and have your own scripted to do, share that you have in your pocket that you could do over and over and over and over again. But I mean, even if you established kind of like your pinpoints of what your open would be or what your share would be, if you decided to take it on the road, you still would, change it up and use like current stuff and, present things that are going on with you right now. Cause that's what it's all about. It's about, everybody's story is kind of great to share a piece of it to let you know where you kind of came from a little bit, maybe. But more importantly, is like, what are you up to today? And what, how did you get to on that stage at that moment?
Right. I don't think I shared too much about
that
because I didn't want to.
Yeah.
It was just like, to me, that's what it wasn't. It wasn't about getting up there telling my life story. It was just talking about maybe what are some of the things that helped me move forward in my life. And, like what are some, I don't know. I don't even know what I was thinking. The only thing I was thinking, which you didn't record, was when I get up there, I got to thank God, because without him, none of this is possible. And then it just kind of went from there into, well, don't do what that person's doing, because there's another person there. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to be up there doing what they're doing.
Not that what they were doing is bad. It's just,
Yeah, it wasn't God. But it was just like, let's just not do that. And then I just figured the rest would just kind of fall into place. And I don't know, looking at the video, which you can watch, it's on our app. And it's on the website too. There were some things I would do again if I were to redo next time I do it. Like finish the thought. I think that would be big time. And then when I was talking about the homeless thing, it was like I never really explained why I want to rob them. It's the thinking behind it was that they would not have money to buy drugs and stuff. So I had never mentioned that. I just said I want to rob homeless people.
And the thing is,
they were probably like, what in the hell?
No, and the other thing is we've had so many conversations about this, and where that stems from is because we have recognized, as a lot of people do, we have recognized the extreme need to address this issue. And it's all out of goodness of, our hearts, and where we have recognized and are wanting other people to recognize, like, how, it seems so big, is how do we help with this? How do we fix this? And there is no one shot answer. There is no there's Band-Aids, there's, directions you can go, but it's like to get people to listen. And so you kind of took it to the extreme, obviously. And I think some people listening to that, a lot of people who know you they know that obviously we're thinking that that's how to resolve it. But it's almost that big of an issue that it's like, do we just start at square one, like with the most insane ideas possible, and then just start scratching them off the list? Like, how can we address this issue? And that was in no way, shape, or form Corey bashing anybody being homeless or how they got there, or it's anybody's fault or anything like that. I mean, just in case anybody out there had those thoughts. I've been homeless. You've been homeless. So it's not like, it's a real thing. And so, your share on that piece was completely from a place of love and, recognition. So, I mean, no, because I'm thinking, I know you, obviously, but I'm thinking to myself, after you said it all, I'm like, that may have come off as a little bit like kind of crazy.
Yeah, especially since I didn't say so that they don't have money to buy the drugs.
Yeah.
I just said, let's rob homeless people.
Yeah.
Like that's going to, I don't know. Like that's why it probably, if you watch the video, it left probably some people going, what the
yeah.
What?
But see, that's why we had this podcast to kind of tie up those loose ends.
Yeah, but there was like, I don't know, every other story or whatever else I was talking about. I felt like I never really finished that stuff off either, but Maybe that's my thing.
Maybe
I'll be the speaker that never finishes a thought. That'll
there
be
you
me.
Go.
Just go right into something else. Like, I thought he was going to make a point about that.
That's Corey style.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. But that was fun. And it was fun to be home. Then we had Jonathan on Tuesday's podcast. That was cool. He was a good dude. And there were a lot of good people there. And Ray, the guy that told me, what's it going to take, man? Like, what's it going to take for you to never drink again? And I've told the story a million times. And it was cool that you got to meet him too. And then I was going to fire back. Well, I have kids. And he's like, shut up. I don't want you to answer this right now. I want you to think about it. You got a 10-hour bus ride. Think about it on your way to treatment. Think about it while you're at treatment. What's it going to take, for you to never drink again? And I thought about it, and laid in bed and thought, well, I've told my family, people I've been in relationships with, whatever, jobs, kind of. And I started thinking, well, jobs, well, no. When I swore that I would never drink on the radio again, I never did after that. So hold on, I might have just struck gold. Like, the one thing that I put above alcohol was radio. So how can people have been telling me I should do a podcast. What if I turned it into something that helps me? I could do a podcast, but what would I do it on? My recovery? Well, when I get out, I'll only have like 3 months clean. Like, that's people, they're going to take me serious, or they're going to laugh at me. They're going to talk about me, saying, who's this guy? What's he talking about? And then Joyce told me, well, don't worry about what other people think. If those people are so concerned about what you're doing, then they're not doing enough in their own recovery. So they should worry about themselves more. And I thought, well, yeah. All right. Well, F it then. And then I didn't understand how free I would feel when I came out with the podcast to like, yep, I'm in recovery. I have substance use disorder. Alcohol was my problem. Well, the solution to my problems, all of them, even my good times. Oh, let's get some alcohol. And a lot of people can understand that, but yeah. And it didn't make me a bad person. I made some bad choices along the way when drinking, which is normal actually when people do drink.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met anyone who's drank for 20 years that said, man, I've only made great decisions when I was drunk.
That's a lie.
Yeah, I've never met anybody that's ever said that.
Right.
And if they did, it would be a lie.
It would be a lie.
So, yeah. So you can judge me on that if you want, but I don't live there anymore. I'm moving on, moving forward. And that was a real thing. So it was cool that you got to meet Ray.
Yeah.
And
I was like, you're a legend in Corey's story. The turning point, the word that came out of your mouth stuck with him. Mm-hmm. So,
because if you'd have just let me answer and be like, all right, but you
didn't set that up. I mean, he didn't. Did he know? He knew you were going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He saw that I was on the list to speak, and he was like, oh, I'm going to go see Corey.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I think Ray listens to the podcast. Since it's kind of Thursday's podcast, we do shout out Ray.
Hey Ray.
Shout out to JB. Mm-hmm. Justin Burke. I throw it in there. The assistant. But that was fun. And then we get back home, and I had the stomach issues, and with the whole podcast. And I took 3 people to treatment the other day. It was like bam, bam, bam. It was like bam, sleep for 7 hours, bam, bam. Mm-hmm. Another 9 hours on the road. It was just like, oh my God. I was so tired. And then maybe a trip today, and then that turned out not to be, which thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
Again.
That would have been, I was like,
Jesus looking out for a brother.
Yeah.
But on those 3 trips, though, there was a common theme, and it was kind of weird. It was, and it all goes back to Ray, kind of. It was like, for these guys, like, what are they going to do next? Like, what's it going to take to stop them from using or drinking? And there were some good suggestions, and like some good questions were actually asked, of like, well, how did you do it? What was it that, got you over it? And I was like, well, it was throwing myself in, and being involved. And, if you are in the system, in jail, you realize that there's a lot of flaws in that. A lot of people don't go to jail. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think that, oh, that's where bad people go, but they don't understand the injustice and the
the respect that's lost. Like you can go in there, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. BS. You're not in jail. When they take you to jail, you're guilty. You're a piece of shit. You're nothing. And you know, that kind of disrespect that is given, no matter what your crime is pathetic. And jail is a business. You know, it's not run by the state. These are businesses, you know, and they're making money. So just kind of look at the whole realm of it. But a lot of people don't, you know, and I'm preaching to the choir here, I'm sure. But like, until somebody wants to step up and change that, you know, like, you're just going to bitch about it all the time, you know? So, you know, one of the guys was like, no, man, like, well, how do I do that? I'm like, I don't know. But you know what? I didn't know how to do a podcast. I didn't know how to do, I didn't know how to start a business. I didn't know how to turn it into a 501c3. I didn't know how to do this. But there's ways, there's this thing called the internet that'll help you figure some stuff out and, you know, go about it the right ways and, you know, get these things changed that are really bothering you. And I was like, but for me, it was, you know, helping people, and transportation was a big obvious, and everybody knows it. And it still feels like I'm fighting a battle against a ghost, and I don't know why.
I know, but the thing is, it's just like, you're the first you that is existed.
It's like,
so there, everyone's like, how do we do this? I'm like,
well, this is what it feels like to me. You've seen the movie Braveheart, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, William Wallace shows up on the battlefield. I'm not William Wallace. And then England shows up on the battlefield. And then I come from the future. I'm a time machine. I'm like, what's up? I just want you guys to get along. Okay, that was a really bad analogy, but I thought about it was going to be a lot better.
I was trying to follow.
I was going to be a lot better, but turn out not to be. But I don't know. I feel like, though, that like I'm coming to help, and this is the cool thing to do, and then both sides are just like, no, wait, what? Stop. I feel like I'm like I feel like I'm a bad person. Like people looking at me like, oh, you're trying to steal money from somebody. And it's like, I'm not trying to steal money from anybody. I'm trying to take people to treatment.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like you have these breakthroughs with certain individuals, but like nobody can get everybody on the same page. And then people who do understand it aren't the decision maker. It's really, it's messy. And the thing is, I think you just need to breathe about it and pray about it, and it's all going to get figured out. It's just, this is like a total learning curve situation for everybody. And just keep doing what you're doing, keep doing the rides, and, you know, I think everything's going to work out. It'll get figured out. It's just, there's never been a transportation that's a 501c3 that gets people safely from A to B. Because they're like, you need to be from this place. You need to have this person be contacted first, and we need to exhaust every resource. Like, do they have a skateboard they could ride there? Right. You know, like stupid shit like that, where you're like, are you serious? Like, and they need to get there now.
I should take somebody on a horse one day. Charge them like $2 less than what it would have been if I would have drove electronic,
you know, those things they had in LA. Yeah. What are they called?
Oh, I don't know. But accidents waiting to happen.
Where you like scan that QR code and you rent it.
Yeah, like little razors or whatever, scooter things.
Yeah, they'd be like, did you look into that? Because if you haven't exhausted all your resources, then we're not going to approve that ride.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I just want to ask him, because this is your money? Oh, no, we got that from the federal government.
When will people understand this is not about money? This isn't about making money. This is about providing the service that is needed.
But at the same time, we do need to make money for oil changes, for gas, and we're not making like nothing really.
No,
and
nothing.
It could sustain itself, but like that's about it. Like if you wanted to like really pay somebody to like, okay, well now you're the driver, then when the car broke down or you needed to do something with the car, you'd be like, no, we don't have any money to get an oil change. Like,
right.
And reaching out to local businesses, trying to get that done can be frustrating at times. You know, thank God to Meyer. Big props to Meyer and Speedway. They came through, hooked us up with some cards and, you know, nice donations for us that really did help us out. And, you know, an oil place change would be freaking amazing as well. And
I'm so shocked that hasn't come through yet.
We just never people to get out there or something. But yeah, we're going to have an auction in September, which I'm pretty excited about. September's recovery month, and we're going to have an online auction.
Yeah, we need to start working on that.
Reached out to some sports teams.
Yeah.
And there'll be some local places around, probably Traverse City, maybe. Not sure. But maybe some local national stuff, maybe like Chili's, Applebee's. I mean, I don't know. There'll be some stuff on there that you can probably bid on, but there'll be some really cool stuff. I know this place in New York that we're working with, they had just an example. It was, and this is something I would never spend money on, but somebody would. It was like fly to go see Elton John in New York, and like all your stuff was paid for or whatever. And, that was like starting at like $500. Which I didn't think was bad. I was like, wow, all that stuff included. Like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we need to think outside the box on that, and we will keep you updated when we actually start building that. I guess platform of things that are going to be able to that we'll have.
Went a date with Anna was one of the things.
There you go. There you go.
But she's married, so just respect her authority and her status. Anna doesn't listen to the podcast, so she doesn't know about
She doesn't know about that yet.
She can send her an email. It sounds really echoey in here. I don't know why.
Let's just hope it sounds all right.
Hope so. A big shout out to my mom. She's a little angry today.
Yeah.
At her son, which is me. Yeah. It's a situation that has nothing to do with feelings or emotions. It's just something that I had to move on from Facebook. And it's the tagging. She tags me in pictures of frogs and dirt and trees and be a piece of snow. Here's a tag. And so you can change your preferences on Facebook, but then you still have to review it. And so when something is relevant to me that I have to review, instead of that popping up first, I have to go through 80 pages of like pictures of dirt and trees and snow. And it's just like, you know what? That was a long time ago. And there was a picture that was posted, and I was like, well, first of all, I don't want to be tagged in that photo. And it just brought it all to my attention again. And I thought, let's just do this today. And I didn't do it because my siblings feel the same. I didn't do any. I'm not talking about anyone else, but I'm just saying, like, and so I think my mom's feeling a little hurt that we're not friends on Facebook, but should think about that, Mom. I don't know. I don't really know what to tell you.
Right.
But that's why I give you a shout out at least.
Yeah. No, we love her.
Yeah, I do. It had nothing to do with me not loving her or me. I mean, I have a phone as a number. She knows it. I mean, there's ways to reach out to me. It's not like I'm saying, don't ever talk to me again or you're bad. No, nothing to do with that. Just don't tag me anymore. And now she can't. So I feel better.
There you go.
Self-care.
Yes, self-care. Important.
Yeah.
Important stuff.
But thanks for listening, though, and we do appreciate that. If you didn't see the video, you can watch it.
Definitely watch it. I'm telling you, watch it. And you get to it. It's on our website.
It's on our website.
It's off that. You can get it. Watch it on the app.
Yep.
Watch it, guys. It's really good.
Well, I'm glad that you support me.
I do. I kind of have to, but I do.
Forcibly supporting me. But yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Oh yeah, and sorry for this being late.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the 217 Recovery Podcast. Listen on the 217 Recovery app. Download the app and rate us in your app store.